Hi guys, welcome back. If you're searching for thrillers that don't just entertain, but pull you into uneasy territory, you're in the right place. Today's list isn't about loud spectacle or predictable twists. It's about films that linger, unsettle, and tighten the air around you long after the screen goes dark. From psychological slow burns to survival nightmares and hard-edged revenge stories, these are the top 10 best thriller movies you can watch right now across Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu, Tubi, and Pluto TV. Each entry on this list delivers tension in its own way, through atmosphere, pressure, paranoia, or sheer intensity. Some of these titles flew under the radar. Others divided audiences. But all of them share one thing in common. Once they start, backing out isn't easy. So dim the lights, silence distractions, and prepare for a countdown built on suspense, danger, and relentless unease. Let's begin. Number 10. I Still See You. In a quiet town scarred by an unexplainable catastrophe, Veronica Calder, a sharp yet guarded teenager, moves through daily life surrounded by lingering echoes of the past, figures frozen in time, harmless yet deeply unsettling. These silent presences have become routine, part of the world's uneasy balance, until Veronica notices something new. Movements that don't follow the rules, signs that suggest intention rather than repetition. Her sense of order begins to erode as the ordinary turns subtly threatening. Drawn deeper into the mystery, Veronica crosses paths with Brian, a troubled outsider carrying his own shadows. Together, they navigate a landscape where certainty is scarce and every discovery raises more questions than answers. The atmosphere thickens as unseen motives surface, blurring the boundary between memory and menace. Trust becomes a calculated risk, and every interaction feels charged with quiet danger. As the investigation tightens, Veronica finds herself isolated within a reality that refuses to explain itself. Clues accumulate, yet clarity remains elusive, creating a constant tension between knowing too much and not enough. The threat is never loud, but it presses closer with each passing moment, turning familiar spaces into sources of unease. I Still See You unfolds as a restrained, supernatural thriller that leans on mood and mystery rather than spectacle. An unsettling journey into a world where the past refuses to stay still, and survival depends on recognizing which shadows are harmless and which are watching back. Number 9. Dark Skies. Daniel and Lacey Barrett, a devoted suburban couple juggling work, parenthood, and quiet routines, sense their orderly household slipping out of alignment when unsettling disturbances begin to surface without warning. Ordinary nights turn uneasy as unexplained occurrences invade their private space, bending familiarity into something quietly threatening. The comfort of home slowly dissolves into an atmosphere thick with unease, where every silence feels deliberate. As the disturbances escalate, their children become unwilling focal points in a pattern that defies logic. Authorities offer rational explanations that fail to account for the mounting evidence, leaving the family isolated within a system that refuses to acknowledge the impossible. Each attempt to regain control only deepens the feeling that something unseen is watching, calculating, and closing in. Guidance arrives from an unexpected source, introducing a theory that challenges accepted reality and reframes every incident with chilling clarity. The revelation does not bring relief, but a heavier weight, one that reshapes fear into inevitability. With no clear adversary and no reliable protection, the Barretts are pushed into a corner where preparation replaces hope. Dark Skies unfolds as a suffocating examination of intrusion and helplessness, where the greatest terror lies not in what is revealed, but in what cannot be stopped. Number 8. Strange Harvest. Set against the sun-bleached stillness of Southern California, Strange Harvest presents itself as a meticulous investigation that slowly drifts into deeply unsettling territory. Through interviews, official records, and recovered media, the film assembles a chronicle of ritualistic crimes that feel disturbingly plausible. Its documentary facade lends credibility to every detail, allowing unease to surface gradually rather than announce itself outright. As the inquiry progresses, patterns emerge that resist clear explanation. Law enforcement perspectives collide with fringe interpretations, and certainty becomes increasingly elusive. The individuals recounting events appear worn down, not by violence alone, but by the gnawing sense that something vast and methodical is operating beyond conventional understanding. Each revelation deepens the tension, not through spectacle, but through implication and repetition. Strange Harvest ultimately functions less as a mystery to be solved, and more as an examination of belief, obsession, and the psychological toll of confronting the unknowable. Cold, methodical, and deeply disquieting, it leaves a lasting impression by refusing to provide comfort, only echoes of a case that feels far too real to dismiss. Number 7. Survivor. Kate Abbott, a vigilant and highly trained State Department officer known for her procedural precision, watches her professional stability unravel when a security failure places her at the center of a deadly accusation and forces her into sudden exile. What unfolds is a relentless pursuit through unfamiliar cities, where trust evaporates quickly, and every calculated step is shadowed by unseen watchers intent on erasing her presence. Cut off from official support and burdened by suspicion, Kate navigates a tightening maze of surveillance, shifting loyalties, and concealed agendas. Figures who appear dependable reveal uncertain motives, while threats surface from directions she least anticipates. Each encounter sharpens the danger, pushing her further into a contest where alertness and instinct outweigh authority. Her world contracts into a race against exposure, demanding constant adaptation as hunters close in with unwavering determination. Behind the operation lies a design fueled by ideology and vengeance, pressing her toward decisions that challenge her former discipline. As time slips away, Kate confronts how conviction can be weaponized and how easily order can be overturned when control changes hands. Survivor emerges as a taut, fast-moving thriller, an examination of pursuit and persistence, set within a landscape where endurance depends on clarity, resolve, and the courage to remain standing when certainty is stripped away. Number 6. Frozen. 3 friends set out for a late-night ski run, confident in routine and camaraderie, only to find themselves abandoned high above the ground when the resort shuts down. Suspended in open air, surrounded by endless white and biting cold, their ordinary adventure abruptly transforms into a ruthless trial where time stretches and hope thins with every passing hour. The isolation grows more punishing as daylight fades, exposing how quickly confidence erodes under pressure. Hunger, cold, and height become relentless forces, turning simple decisions into life-altering risks. With no help in sight, trust is tested and desperation sharpens, pushing each of them toward choices shaped by fear and instinct, rather than reason. Their world shrinks to a swaying chairlift, and the void beneath it, where silence feels louder than screams, and the mountain watches without mercy. Every movement carries consequence, and every pause allows dread to deepen, feeding on uncertainty and physical limits. Frozen is a stark survival thriller that strips away comfort and safety, confronting the viewer with raw vulnerability and unforgiving stakes. It's a chilling examination of endurance, panic, and the brutal truth that nature doesn't negotiate. Once you're trapped, escape demands more than courage, it demands sacrifice. Number 5. Dead End. A quiet holiday drive meant to shorten distance slowly abandons logic as a family's familiar route dissolves into an unyielding stretch of road that refuses to release them. Dead End transforms an ordinary journey into a suffocating ordeal, where darkness presses close and certainty fades with every mile passed. Confidence gives way to unease as repetition replaces progress, and the night itself seems to observe their panic in silence. As the hours stretch unnaturally, the family's unity strains under mounting pressure, each encounter along the roadside carrying an unsettling weight that deepens their confusion. The road offers no clear threat, yet its persistence breeds suspicion, forcing trust, doubt, and desperation into constant collision. Every stop promises clarity, but delivers only deeper disquiet. Their world narrows to headlights, trees, and unanswered questions, where logic loses authority, and instinct becomes the only guide. Familiar roles erode, revealing fear, denial, and resolve in equal measure as survival feels increasingly abstract. With time looping forward, yet never truly advancing, the journey becomes a test of endurance against an unseen design that defies explanation. Number 4. Regression. Bruce Kenner, a disciplined and seasoned detective respected for his reliance on logic, finds his carefully maintained worldview unsettled when a seemingly routine case pulls him into a shadowed inquiry shaped by fear, suggestion, and unspoken authority. What appears at first to be a straightforward investigation gradually tightens into a suffocating psychological maze where certainty weakens and unease settles with relentless force. As Kenner delves deeper, he encounters Angela Gray, a fragile witness whose withdrawn presence conceals layers of dread, and Father Moore, whose unconventional methods blur the boundary between guidance and manipulation. Their uneasy convergence forms a volatile dynamic, not built on clarity, but on pressure, where belief, coercion, and implication collide without relief. The investigation narrows into an oppressive mental landscape where truth becomes elusive, and survival depends on deciphering narratives shaped as much by influence as by fact. Beneath calm explanations lies an undercurrent of menace that steadily corners Kenner, forcing him to question his own judgment. With time stretching thin, he is compelled to confront how terror can be cultivated, shared, and weaponized, each passing moment eroding confidence in rational order. Regression unfolds as a tense, inward-looking study of paranoia and persuasion, a descent into a world where reason is tested against faith, fear, and the unsettling power of suggestion. Number 3. From Paris with Love. James Reese, a polished yet overlooked intelligence operative stationed in Paris, maintains a life defined by protocol, patience, and quiet ambition, until his orderly routine is abruptly disrupted by an assignment that drags him far beyond diplomatic corridors and into uncontrolled chaos. Tasked with assisting a senior field agent whose methods defy convention, Reese is pulled into a relentless chain of events where speed replaces caution and instinct overrides structure. The arrival of Charlie Wax, a volatile force driven by unwavering confidence and unapologetic aggression, reshapes every assumption Reese holds about control and professionalism. Wax's relentless momentum collides with Reese's measured discipline, forging an uneasy partnership built not on trust, but necessity. Their contrasting approaches create constant tension, as authority is asserted through action rather than hierarchy. As the mission escalates, the city becomes a tightening labyrinth of threats, deception, and urgency, leaving little space for hesitation. Reese is forced to navigate not only external danger, but the psychological strain of aligning with a man whose certainty borders on recklessness. Each encounter sharpens the divide between calculation and impulse. From Paris with Love presents a compact, high-pressure examination of loyalty, power, and conviction, unfolding within a confined timeframe that never loosens its grip. Number 2. The Iceman. Richard Kuklinski, a quiet and disciplined man defined by routine and loyalty, lives a life that appears solid and predictable on the surface. Beneath that calm exterior, however, exists a carefully concealed identity shaped by precision, patience, and an unnerving lack of hesitation. His days move forward with chilling order, each decision calculated, each action carried out with deliberate calm. As his hidden profession expands, the divide between home and underworld grows increasingly unstable. Kuklinski navigates family dinners and criminal contracts with the same measured focus, allowing no visible cracks in his carefully maintained facade. The film observes this duality without excess, letting silence, posture, and routine speak louder than spectacle. Surrounding him are figures drawn by power, loyalty, and quiet menace, Men whose ambitions and codes of conduct create a tense ecosystem of control and consequence. Every interaction carries weight, where respect is enforced through fear, and survival depends on unwavering resolve rather than trust. The Iceman unfolds as a stark character portrait, emphasizing inevitability over shock. It explores how violence can become procedural, how normalcy can coexist with brutality, and how a life built on control ultimately exists in isolation, cold, methodical, and unsettlingly human. Number 1. Wrath of Man. H, a taciturn and imposing newcomer, steps into the rigid world of an armored cash transport company, his calm presence masking a gravity that unsettles those around him. Within the strict routines of timed rotes and coded trust, his arrival quietly disrupts the balance, revealing a man shaped by discipline, patience, and an intensity that never announces itself aloud. What appears to be just another uniformed role soon carries an unspoken weight, as silence becomes his sharpest signal. As the days unfold, the workplace reveals itself as a pressure chamber of suspicion, loyalty, and untested courage. Colleagues trade bravado and gallows humor, unaware that they are orbiting a force guided by purpose rather than impulse. Beneath the surface of procedural order lies a tension fueled by unseen motives, where every exchange feels measured and every pause carries meaning. H navigates this environment with deliberate precision, absorbing details while revealing nothing, his stillness contrasting sharply with the chaos lurking beyond routine operations. The threat is not always visible, yet it hums constantly, shaping choices and exposing how quickly certainty can collapse when confronted by calculated resolve. Violence, when it arrives, feels less like chaos and more like inevitability. Wrath of Man unfolds as a cold, methodical descent into vengeance and resolve, stripping away ornamentation in favor of stark intent. That wraps up today's countdown. These thrillers prove that real tension comes from atmosphere, pressure, and purpose. If any of these stayed with you, let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more intense movie lists and hidden gems. Until next time, watch carefully.